Hey fellas, do your emotions get the better of you? You know, your anger, fear, sadness, do they just take over you to the point where your emotions are running the show and you're not even able to logically think and you start acting in ways and doing things that you end up regretting? Well, if that's you, you're in the right place because in this video, I want to share 5 key ways that you can be more emotionally intelligent. Now, these are in order of importance. So I really just want to share practical ways that you can actually start doing this like right now. As soon as you finish this video, you can start applying this stuff. First, let me just touch on why it's important to be emotionally intelligent. So when you are an emotionally intelligent man, that means that you are aware of your emotional state at times and you're not being controlled by your emotions. You understand what's going on within inside you. You recognize when you're triggered and you're not just on this kind of impulsive way of responding and reacting to things. This is very key. I struggled with this for years. I was always on autopilot when I got triggered and would just react in a way that was not the healthiest at times. So being emotionally intelligent is, again, being aware of your emotional state, but to take it a step deeper, it's being aware of the emotional state of people around you and also how you are impacting those people around you as well. And once you can understand this, how this stuff flows, it's going to improve your relationships. It's going to improve friendships. It's going to improve your work dynamic. It's going to improve how you interact with your children. This is a superpower, and this works across all ways of communicating, all right? So the first way that you can be more emotionally intelligent is you need to learn how to quiet the noise. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, learn how to quiet the noise in your head and in your life, okay? Now, why is this important? So a lot of us, we are distracted by devices and social media, and we don't know how to embrace quiet. We don't know how to embrace stillness in our lives. One way that I was really able to start cultivating this is through meditation. All right. So I know some people are not all into that. Prayer is another way to do it. But what you want to do is start getting comfortable in silence. You want to start getting comfortable not having the need to always say something or always having to fill those gaps of silence. Now, this is important because when you're trying to improve emotional intelligence, a big key component of that is learning how to be silent and listen. And I'm going to touch on that a little bit more here in a second. So you want to start cultivating this in your life to where it becomes like second nature. You want to cultivate that practice of being comfortable with silence, being comfortable with that discomfort that the silence will bring. Because I'm telling you, it's going to be uncomfortable as hell, especially if you're somebody who is used to always engaging and saying something and always has to kind of respond. When you start practicing this, it's going to feel unfamiliar. You're going to feel the urge and desire to want to say something. For example, if you're in a conversation with somebody and when you're trying to actively listen and trying to hear them, you're going to be compelled to want to say something. You're going to be compelled to want to interject in the conversation. So you really want to start working on embracing silence. Just embrace quiet. And this is going to lead me into the second tip, which is to practice listening more. So the more comfortable you can get embracing this silence, the more comfortable you can get with not having that need to always say something, you also want to start working on the power of listening. Just stop talking so much. Learn how to actively listen to someone. So how this helps you in being more emotionally intelligent is that emotionally intelligent people, they know the value of listening more than always having to speak. This is like a superpower when you can start to listen to somebody and it allows this person to be heard and to be seen. And it really is just a very helpful tool. So the key is to start getting comfortable with uncomfortable silences. And that's going to require you to start listening more. You do not have to always say something. Damn, I'm looking at my notes and I feel like I missed a step here, man. I'm gonna double back here real quick. When I talk about quieting the noise in that first tip, and I did touch on meditating. Okay, so meditating, it starts to allow you to like slow down the thought process, all right? And it slows down the reactive process that happens when you get triggered. Okay, this is what I had to really work on. And when I discovered meditation and when I discovered how this was impacting my life, I knew that this was something special, because meditation is going to improve how you think about things. It's going to improve like the speed of how you think. You'll be able to like slow down more, you know, and when you can slow down more, that's going to allow you to start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And it's going to allow you to be comfortable with those silences, because you're already cultivating and practicing sitting within silence. And I'm suggesting meditating right now, but I know it's not easy to do right away. I know it deters a lot of people when they try to meditate. So I would suggest just try to meditate for like 2 minutes. You know, don't start off trying to do no 20 minutes. Start off with just set a timer on your phone, on your watch, whatever you got. Just try to meditate for 2 minutes. Do that for like a week. Then try to up it to like 5 minutes. Try that for a week. Then try to get up to like maybe 7, 8 minutes. Try that. So gradually work yourself up to where you can get to like 10 minutes. All right. And you'll start noticing the difference in how you feel in your head. You'll start noticing that you're not so clouded and cluttered. Okay. But I want to be specific on talking about meditating, because most people, when they sit down to meditate and their thoughts are all over the place, they get discouraged and they don't want to do it anymore, because they think that their mind is going to shut off completely if they meditate. That's not what's going to happen. You're still going to have the thoughts coming in, but they'll start to like slow down a bit. The analogy I always kind of think of is like you are a mountain, right? And you know, when you look at a mountaintop and there's clouds passing by the mountain, those clouds are your thoughts. All right. So you're the mountaintop, there's clouds going by you. And when you don't meditate, you're always kind of like grabbing at the clouds, which are your thoughts. You're grabbing at them and you're making them like you put focus on them. But when you start meditating and you start slowing things down, the clouds just kind of drift by. You don't need to reach and to grab and to do all this stuff. They just float by. They're just thoughts. I don't need to get wrapped up in every single thought. So I wanted to be clear on this and to really break this down. All right. Now, to jump back into this list, once you start doing this and slowing down and meditating and start listening, you want to start focusing on processing your emotions when you get triggered, when you get angry, when you get scared of something, when you feel that anxiousness in you of like the unknown, something you got to do in your life, something that's coming up, and it creates that unknown in you. You want to start getting curious with how you're feeling inside. And the way to start getting curious is you have to slow down. You have to learn how to pause. If somebody says something to you sideways in your life, you want to learn how to like not react immediately. You want to take some time to process what was said, how it's impacted you. Is it even necessary for you to respond to this? These are key components to be more emotionally intelligent as well. You have to learn how to slow down. And I can't stress enough to learn the power of pausing. You have to be able to pause. And what I always like to say is like, give yourself some space. If somebody says something to you like disrespectful, give yourself some space before you say something back, man. It's like the most powerful thing you can do, because when you give yourself that space, you'll start to realize like, I may not even have to say anything. Your ego is going to make you feel like you have to say something. Your ego is going to make you feel like there's no way I can be disrespected like this. And sometimes you do got to check disrespect. I'm not trying to say let it just slide. There are times where you need to address this and you need to let somebody know how they need to speak to you. And there's ways that you do that as well, setting boundaries and stuff like that. But creating that space allows you time to like assess the situation. All right. And that's, man, it's key when you can start to do this. Okay. Now, being able to slow down, pause, process your emotions, process what you're going through. Being able to do this leads me to the next tip, which is going to help you to stop taking things so personally. Emotionally intelligent people, they understand that we take a lot of things personally in our lives. And this is what causes us a ton of problems, is because we make everything about us. If somebody said something to you, somebody didn't cut you off in traffic, it's like ruined your whole day because you're taking it personally. So that's why it's important to do these first steps that I'm telling you. And they will lead up to you being able to stop attaching so much to what people say and what people do and how people feel about you. This is key. We bring on so much pain onto ourselves because we take everything personally. I read this book, The 4 Agreements. If you watch my content already, you know I sprinkle this in here and talk about this. The 4 Agreements. The second agreement is don't take things personally. When you take things personally, it's one of the most selfish things that you can do because you are making everything about you. And when you really think about that, it's like, really think about it. Who are you? Like, what makes you so special that what somebody's like, why are you making things about you? What makes you so special that it's about you? Think about it from that perspective. That's ego again. You know, you got to be able to kind of like get that ego out the way and stop taking every single thing that comes out of somebody's mouth about you. What people say and what people do has nothing to do with you. It has to do with their own life experiences. But we mess up when we take what they say and what they do and we put it onto us and we say, oh man, why are you coming at me that way? It's like, bro, in the reality of it, in the grand scheme of it, it ain't got shit to do with you. You're making it about you. And I would highly suggest reading this book, The 4 Agreements. It's a very small book. Maybe I'll leave a link to it in the description if I remember to. But make sure you check out this book, man. It's powerful and it's very small. It's a short read. But I always try to reference that because it changed my life once I read it. If you're getting any value out of this video, please hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're feeling content like this and you're digging this so that you know when I make more content like this. All right. Now, this is going to lead me to this last and final tip. Once you do all these steps, man, you want to start practicing this and repeating these steps over and over and over again. I heard this analogy recently. It was in regards to like superheroes in movies, you know, like Spider-Man. When he first figures out that he's Spider-Man, he starts trying to utilize his powers and stuff. Like he doesn't know how to use them well, you know, and he be falling and shit. He trying to web sling and, you know, he's just hurting himself. And that's kind of how being emotionally intelligent is. It's like, you're not going to get it right all the time. So you have to start practicing and getting the repetitions in. And I'm serious. You want to start learning how to listen. That shit right there is like so pivotal. Stop talking so much. You will gain so much more information when you learn how to shut up and just listen. Okay. But again, you got to get comfortable with listening because it's going to make you uncomfortable. So make sure that you're meditating so you can learn how to get comfortable with discomfort and then start learning how to process those emotions. You might need to journal. You might need to write it out. You might need to talk into a recorder. Get that shit off your chest. And when you start doing all this stuff, it'll allow you to stop taking things so personally. Okay. Again, if you got any questions, if it was confusing, if it's not clear, leave me some comments below. Please. I read all the comments. I usually respond to like everyone if I can. I really want to make sure that this video is clear and concise for you and that you're actually taking something from this. Please be sure to check out some of my other videos. I have an emotional intelligence playlist that I'll be sure to leave up here floating around somewhere for you on the screen. And I will see y'all in the next video. All right. Peace.